Welcome everybody, it's CDKx live with AnaMaria, and today we've got a special live. It's not every day that I get to do poetry reading on my live and have the guests do a poetry reading, so it's going to be so exciting to do that. But we could just start with like a little bit of conversation. And do you want to tell the audience a little bit about yourself? I'm going to make sure that we are streaming and that the link is live. Does that sound good?
Sounds awesome. Yeah, sure. Oh, let's talk about myself. Where do I start?
Yes. My favorite topic, me.
So I'm like Romanian. I am a mom of 2 little kids. I am a person with a lot of interests, such as yourself.
Yes.
And one of them is creativity, because of the way you can enact change in people, in life, in society, in everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's why I practice creativity myself. And I also work towards inspiring other people to do so as well.
Amazing.
So that's I call it a creativity coach or whatever, if that can be said.
Yeah. I love that. And it looks like we already have inspired some people immediately. That's pretty cool. Hi, Usama, and hello, Carl. What is up, beautiful people? What is up?
Hi. Everything is up.
Yeah. Let us know in the chat what you've done today, or if it's early where you are and you haven't done anything yet, let us know what you want to do today. And we're not talking about like what like your to-do list says. Like, so let's talk about something that like made you laugh or made you smile, or you know, something silly that happened or embarrassing. I love embarrassing stuff.
Actually, something really embarrassing happened to me today.
I want to hear.
I can share.
Okay.
So I had a beautiful moment today in the afternoon. I just went with the boys to the beach, and it was awesome. They were just like rolling in sand. I kind of let go of everything I had. I rolled in sand as well. We all rolled in sand. The little one decided he doesn't need his trousers anymore, so he goes off. So makes sense.
Yeah.
He still has his underwear on. And then I met some friends, just like by coincidence. And then he just decided to go ahead and make a wee right in front of them there on the sand. I was mortified. I was like, no way. Like, couldn't you have done that like 5 minutes ago?
Oh my God. I actually love that though. Yes, Carl says it's snowing and sleeting where he's at.
Oh,
and
gosh.
I really feel that. And I almost feel guilty because we're both, AnaMaria and I are both in tropical climates. And it's like, we admittedly both went to the beach today, and I'm so sorry. Like, I don't mean to say that and know that you're in the sleet. Like, I'm sorry, Carl. You're welcome here anytime. You really are.
Please come visit.
Come visit and get yourself out of the cold. I wish I could help, but I can't. It looks like we've got Joff and Teresa here too. Wow, such beautiful people here to hang out with us. That's crazy though.
Guys.
I love that this was your 3-year-old who operated to urinate. Yes. In front of
didn't have any constraints, any shyness, nothing.
Yeah, no inhibitions.
All in.
I love that. That's amazing. And Osama hung out with his friends and talked about some silly stuff. Well, guess the freak what, Osama? You're about to do that some more right now. Hang out with other friends and talk about other silly stuff.
And in this virtual world.
Yes, exactly. But you know, it's not the same, and obviously it's got its challenges, but having this LinkedIn community, I mean, has made my life so much better, like in so many ways. And it feels great. Like, oh no, Teresa says she can't even drive out of her neighborhood to go to
I'm sorry. Oh my God.
All right, well, someone needs to teleportation or something, and then you guys can just come and or maybe we can like sync up our dreams or something, and then all just go to some tropical climate
Yeah,
in our
or just like transmit all the sunshine over there. Oh,
yeah.
look, I have like purple ink on my fingers.
Blue paint on my arm.
You know,
Creatives.
sometimes, like yesterday, a mom at the school gates, when I was picking up my son, is like, "Oh, have you been painting today?" I had like white paint all over my hands. I'm like, yes.
I love it. Yes, we've got the dream team in here tonight. We really do. It's good to have the dream team here. And also, you guys, it looks like there were some people who had reacted to the posts, and I tagged a few of them. But will you tag the rest of them? Well, since you guys are in the chat, I would appreciate that, just so that they know that we are live. And the beautiful AnaMaria is here, and nobody would want to miss that. So that's why I'm asking. I'd appreciate it. Yeah. So we're talking about silly stuff, but we're also going to talk about some not as silly stuff.
There's some serious stuff too, but don't take ourselves too seriously.
Exactly. It's good. It's good to talk about serious stuff, but not take ourselves too seriously. I like that. And yes. So how about, since we've got some of our lovely people here, would you want to share your one of your poems first? Would you want to do your presentation first?
Let's share one of the poem that I think it's a bit relevant right now, because I've talked about anger in one of my latest posts, and I talked about anger from different points of view, and one of them is a positive way to channel anger, which is when you feel like there's things that are going wrong, right?
Yeah.
So there is one of them that is kind of related to that.
Well, I'm eager to hear that, because the past, I'm glad to say that I think I've gotten a hold of my emotions at this point, that I don't really actually, I can choose to just rise above with pretty fast, you know?
Yeah. I know what you mean.
I know what I need to do in those moments, and it doesn't matter what was on the agenda. Like, if I need to, like today, for example, I was just like, yep, no, nothing is happening except for I'm going to put my bathing suit on and make a smoothie, which then of course the smoothie lid was like, I was fighting with it for like 15 minutes. I swear. I was like, come on. But I finally was like, and it worked. And I was like, all right, get out of here as fast as possible. But those moments can be so frustrating, and it's like, and I've explained this before, that it's like frustration is just, it doesn't really matter what's happening. Like, if you're feeling frustrated, anything is gonna.
Absolutely, because frustration is not about what exactly is happening. It's about your expectation of what should be happening, right? So you're like, I want things to go my way because I'm thinking them like that. And that's like, I find this is the first step towards anger, right? Guys, nice to see everybody here.
I love it. Well, I'm happy to listen.
All right, let's do it. Let's find it first.
I'm just going to eat my lychee.
Please enjoy. Oh, I love lychees.
So good. If someone wants to know what kind of smoothie it was, I put mango, pineapple, kale, coconut flakes, ginger, and passion fruit juice. Nice. It was really good. And a little bit of almond milk. It was delicious.
Did you say rum?
No, that would have been good though. That would have been really good.
Try this the next time, but maybe on a Friday night.
Yeah, maybe not in the morning.
Yes.
And also, if Reggie at any point tells anybody that I was drinking a margarita at 8 a.m., do not believe him. It was coconut water, and I was told that I would be outed, and it's not the truth. It was just coconut water in a fancy glass because I'm bougie.
I love that. Oh my God, I can't drink wine from a normal glass. Like,
no,
it has to be a wine glass.
That would be
taste right?
It's not the same. Yeah, it doesn't taste the same.
No.
Even when I was a little girl, I would want apple juice in a wine glass because it just felt more sophisticated.
Makes sense.
That would just be what I would go for.
Love it. Well,
All
now
right,
I'm gonna change a bit the mood with my poem, but let's see how it
open
lands.
to it. Very open to that.
All right. Did you take your pills? He asked, concern in his eye. I did, I say. It's not about the pills. Don't you see how much we know, how much we still don't, and how much there is to do? It's not fair that only a handful hold the power. It's not fair that they play with our brains, modeling them based on their goals, not ours. It's not fair that we have to dig for information. It's not fair that some can never find it, although it is their right to know. It's not fair that privileges come from privilege. It's not fair that those born without it have to fight for their chance, sometimes only to fail or for small gains. It's not fair that smart brains and good souls can't influence our lives as they should. It's not your job to save them all, he says sadly. I know, and I can't, but who will? Who will give them a voice? The power is in their hands. They can still find their voice and speak it like a roar, he says. And we can help by spreading their message of love, I added. Why of love? He asked, looking in my eyes. Because love is what brings us together rather than setting us apart. That's it. Now I need to find you through my tabs. I found you.
I love it. I love that. And I remember whenever you sent that to me and I read that, I just was like, I mean, if you watch the playback, you'll see my reaction. And that was exactly what I was like then too, because it was powerful. And what's amazing about creatives and those who are in tune with the creative ether is that our messages often align, and even language can align, but there's something special and unique about an individual's lens. Like only you would be able to share it in the way that you did, and like only I could share it in my way, or Joff writing could only share it in his way. And like the fact that we are all able to share that message of love in our different ways, but also have them, if you looked at it all next to each other, it would make a beautiful series, or you could exhibit them together. Like to me, art never gets old in that way. Yeah,
and it's wonderful. And that's what I was just writing about when I was prepared to go in here, about co-creation, because whenever we create, we co-create in a certain manner, right? Because we tap into that source of creative energy, and we tap into the knowledge that we are bringing out there, and that it was brought before us over and over and over again. Yet doing it like consciously as collaborations, right? We need more of that.
Yeah.
It's starting, but we need more of that. Like you said, 3 things talking about the same thing with different voices, with different styles. And
you're right. We do need more than that. And now I'm like, let's do something about that. Like we should schedule a stream with like a panel and like like sort of similar to like the Inked Insomnia, but only around writing. And maybe Kelsey would want to use her platform to showcase it. I'm not against it. Doesn't have to be
integrate.
But that would be interesting to present like poetry in the same way as we've presented visual arts, because you're right, we do need more of that, and the world needs more of that. And also, let's welcome some of the new people who are in the chat. We've got Jackie here, we've got Michael here. Welcome, you guys. Thank you.
I'm just watching when you say to watch, because if I get distracted, I completely lose.
I've gotten used to you doing the chat and the conversation at the same time, so no No worries. You know yourself, and I admire that.
Give me the cues, right? You tell me, look, somebody asked you something, or somebody said something.
Exactly.
Otherwise, you'll find me like this.
I love it. Perfect. I would love to share what I wrote, especially because it went not exactly, but I think you'll know what I'm seeing as similar to yours as I read it, probably. So this was a journal entry I wrote today. I was at the beach. Usama's in, he says. So that's exciting. And it looks like there's some attempts at French happening in the channel.
Oh no.
Oh Lord.
I mean, keep trying.
Yeah, exactly. I can oui, that's like it. I also know après vous, like after you. So if I like hold the door open for someone, I could say that. But that's pretty much it. I don't know that. I
know another phrase that cannot be reproduced right now.
You can message that to me. I'd love to learn. Perfect. All right. So this is my journal entry from today. It was February 18th. I wrote February twice. That's funny. Thursday, 4:20 p.m. The art of the let go. Surrendering to life's purpose. Right about now, I'd typically be smoking a joint. For the month of February, I decided to refrain from consuming cannabis. It began with the realization of my tendency to escape with sex and desire. I dug deep within to heal the past life traumas, which kept me in a cycle of emotional attachments. Moksha. I learned this word, and I took it as a sign of the divine calling and telling me that I may end all cycles of abuse within myself. I began as light and will end as light, and this will resolve the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. I do not resist the concept of being incarnated to Earth again. I wouldn't mind it so much. Chirping birds and children's laughter make me smile, and sand-covered cheeks make me feel a sense of belonging. I'm amazed that even in my sober state, I have the ability to see light particle waves. The gaze of the eyes shift focus, and the pineal gland activates, enabling truth to shine, and I observe what would typically be deemed impossible to witness outside of a telescope or a microscope, and I can see light. Not just sunlight bursts from cumulus. Particles dance and pattern, and I ask my soul if these are angels, and the answer is yes. If the karmic cycle ended with Carina, what a mighty way to go. A grand finale if I ever saw one. If not, that would mean that the great creator knew more than I, and I already figured as much. The art of the let go means releasing all attachments. I do not judge myself or expect perfection or even think that there is one definitive answer. I let my soul shine. It is my purpose. When in my past, I numbed myself, I dulled my shine. I allowed ego to control my behavior, and it isn't a matter of right or wrong. It's simply that I was asleep, and now there is awakening to so much more beyond all fear and desire. Love. When tears fall, as they do, they come now in the form of joy. Transmutation of energy flows as my spirit guides it. Innocence, creativity, peace and dynamism, confidence, love and security, collectivism and diplomacy, forgiveness, full integration. This is what they call enlightenment. It is here now. In a cycle of abuse, the ego grips hold of the mind and body, and humans have a tendency to believe that enlightenment is patented, that it's distant or parochial or impossible to reach. Prescription and subscriptions will do this if we allow them to run our lives. The spirit cannot be sealed, and sold cannot be broken if a being knows their wholeness. Though many have forgotten, and it loops humanity on a track of criminal abuse. I will not be subject to criminal abuse. So I show myself ultimate compassion and awaken more in each moment to upheave all cycles that perpetuate violence and abuse. This begins in each and every home, beginning with the home which homes us, the mind-body connection. As a radical act of gratitude, I have vowed to fulfill my life's purpose by healing all cycles of abuse within myself. What was once a battle cry is now a soft angelic hymnal of truth, transcendence. I connect with love as a conduit of the divine. Presence in my purposeful being. We are here.
That was beautiful.
Yes.
Wow. A lot. Beautiful. And I stayed with this metaphor. You said something about the waves of light. You see the waves of light? It's like, I see the waves of light. It's incredible, exactly like that.
And
It's
that's
like
the thing is, it's like so not even like, it's just it's just, I literally
it's just like, it vibrates. It literally vibrates. And it reminded me of an experience of feeling my brain vibrating. Do you know when you get really inspired by something and you hear your neurons buzzing? It's literally like, it goes like, zzz, right?
Yeah, you tuned in. Totally. Oh, I love it.
We're glitching a bit. And the message of compassion, Carina, this is my biggest learning, I think, of 2020, I would say. Because through self-compassion and compassion towards others, I managed to heal enough in order to show up genuinely. I'm still healing, and I probably will for a while. But just like extending that compassion first to others, then to myself, it was much harder towards myself. That's the thing. It's easier. I mean, it would have made everything easier if my own compassion towards myself was more, I don't know.
That's the thing. I think
but it takes some time.
I will say that once it's harder to say these kinds of things to people who are like literally in charge of other humans. But once you start prioritizing the self-compassion above anything else, it becomes, from my experience at least, it becomes way more authentic to show compassion to others, because the thing is, yes, we are utter monsters to ourselves, but once we treat ourselves that way, we're not being compassionate to others. We're escaping ourselves by thinking we are being compassionate to others. And once we can awaken to that, it's like that right there, the awakening to that is an ultimate act of self-compassion too, because it's like, oh shit, I thought I was giving to others out of the bottom of my heart because it was what was right, but I'm not. I was giving to others to make myself feel better, but then I would lay in bed at night and still feel empty. And if
you're giving from a place of lack of, rather than
exactly, thinking if I give of myself in this way, it'll fulfill me, but that's not the way it goes. That's not the real act of love. The real act of love is, I'm going to love myself first. I'm going to love myself so much that loving others just becomes second nature. You can't not love others if you love yourself, because you already are operating in such a state of fulfillment within the self that loving others becomes easy. And I promise that in so many ways the universe confirms me in this. Like, you know, I thought it was well, first I want to read Ethan's comment. It says, I love the subtle metaphors you draw about what you see in sobriety that we always justify can only be seen with red eyes. That's good. I think that your willpower to commit to this cleanse has definitely opened your mind's eye. Yeah, and you know, I just had the realization that like I don't think I wouldn't say I'm an addict necessarily, because out of self-awareness, like I've always been able to, like, if I knew I was in a state of like if I was high strung or something, I may have wanted to like pick up a pipe or something and smoke, but in those moments I would choose not to. And so the fact that I'm able,
you had the power.
Exactly.
Yeah. So using it rather than the substance using you, right?
Yeah, exactly. But at the same time, I was awakened to this pattern within myself of turning to emotional attachments, or having all of these emotional attachments, and like realizing that and what the real big realization for me was in relationship, and specifically to men, like always turning to have like a man satisfy me in some way that was not, I wasn't satisfied within myself. And I had this like really deep realization and about how like I am quite literally the man I am looking for, so I can stop looking, like, and it felt so liberating.
That's awesome.
And with that came like this you know, not desire, because it's transcending to desire. That's what it is. It was this understanding of real love, which transcends fear and desire. Therefore, I want to break these emotional attachments within myself. And I just realized that although I wouldn't say I'm an addict, although I have huge empathy for those who are willing and able to realize in their self-awareness that maybe they are, that didn't feel I asked myself, and it isn't something that resonates with me. But I also asked myself, is it helping me? And the answer was no. And is it hurting me? And the answer was yes. So with that, like that was enough evidence for me to at least, and like I said in the writing as well, I don't even believe that there's one definitive answer. I wouldn't say like never again will I smoke, or never again will
I know a lot of people who to the answer of does it help me would say definitely yes.
Right.
I mean, I have a mental illness, and a lot of I'm in this big group, and a lot of people use it as treatment because
absolutely. And I'm a medical patient.
Yes,
like I'm a card carrying medical patient. Like I would have said that myself, and I'm not, and that's the other thing, because there's no one definitive answer. There are different answers for each of us. And
for each moment, right? For each moment.
Exactly. And that's why I was like, okay, I'm just going to try to get through February and see, or not even try. I'm just going to get through February and reevaluate. But it's amazing that like I have had these moments where I'm like, I just want to smoke. I want to smoke.
I want to get in the zone.
Exactly. And that's the thing, is like I was amazed within myself just to be reminded that like, no, I don't need to smoke to paint. I don't need to smoke to see light vibrate. And I don't need to smoke to have euphoric experiences. And like, I think that's all that I really need to be reminded of. And come March, I don't know what I'll think or feel, or whether or not I'll choose to, you know, smoke again. But I'm going to be open to either thing and show myself grace if I decide that, instead of being like never again. Because and if there were real reasons for me to do that, then that would be different. But there's nothing there's been no real abuse. I have abused in the past. I know that, but I'm in a much better mental space than I ever have been. And that's not the case for me right now. So it's just something that I've become aware of and wanted to commit to see. But what's amazing is that, at the very end of the writing, like the last couple of lines, this is the thing that is so hard. We resist this so much that like just being is exactly what we're supposed to do.
Yeah, to let go, exactly like you said, you just let go.
Seriously. And I wrote, you know, a soft angelic hymnal of truth, transcendence. I connect with love as a conduit of the divine presence in my purposeful being. We are here. And I think that divine timing is the most incredible thing in all of existence, because I wrote that. I grabbed my book and my pen and I went and I packed up my stuff and I walked back to the car and I turned the key to the car, and then I saw like people walk right across, like on the sidewalk that I was parked, and I was like, I recognize her. And I turned off the car and I like ran after her. And it's like these two like TikTok famous people that I really like love.
Really?
Yes.
Awesome.
And their names are Mike and Kat. Speaking of which, hello, Michael Ray. See, I was just saying, I was just talking about divine timing and I was saying your name, Mike. How the hell does it go? It goes really great. It goes amazing. It goes really, really great right now. How are you doing?
Serendipity and all that.
Yes. Well, what's amazing is that, like, you know, I'm talking to them and these people are hilarious. Like they're some of my favorite, like, TikTok viral people or whatever. And I see Kelly, her name's Kat, and I see her walk past and I'm like, oh shit, I gotta go talk to them. So I run up after her and, you know, she was so excited that I recognized them and all of this stuff. And, I told them, like, I've been following them for forever, and I just realized with the last video that I saw that we were in the same city. I had no idea. And then we were talking.
They showed up.
And I was just like, well, I know from the videos I saw that they just moved into a new home. So I was like, well, if you guys want any art for your home, like, I would love to do a commission.
Ooh,
and
nice.
So I think I might do a painting of either her or them. But it's just like, that wouldn't have happened if I didn't treat my frustration by going to the beach, if I didn't meditate and then take the time to eat and then go in the water and then decide I wanted to write and then write and get all of it out. And the last
if you didn't lift up your eyes from what you're doing,
I wasn't aware and in the present moment. But the thing that really gets me is that the last words that I wrote was, what was it? My presence in being.
We are here.
Presence in my purposeful being. We are here.
Yeah.
Like presence in purposeful being. I was right there. So amazing.
There in the moment that had to happen, right?
Damn straight it did. And then it's really cool. And you're curious about the relationship between divine timing and presence. What are you curious about, Ethan? Or do you mean curious in just like a like you find it interesting or fascinating kind of way? Because definitely same. Or do you mean curious and like you have a question about it? Because maybe we can share our insight if you have a question about it. And I'm glad you liked the story. I thought it was pretty cool too.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Wonderful. Yeah, it's great. And anyone who just
being present, right? Being present does allow those special moments. I call it moments of magic, right? You call it divine timing. We each call it our way, right? But it's the same thing.
Oh yeah, I call it magic too. I think magic. There's fairy dust sparkled all around me. And I imagine that kind of thing too. Like I imagine like walking and having
the actual fairies going.
Like literally.
Like when sometimes you feel like you're walking like on air, right? It's like going woof woof, and you're like, I'm part of it all. Like I'm just like flowing through it. And
yes, you know, that's a Buddhist practice actually. That I like a lot. I'll go on a walk and it's like, imagine every footprint that we make is like us kissing the earth. And like you really feel the way that like it is a blessing to be alive and to be able to just walk. Like we take so much stuff for granted. It's such a shame. Not to shame anybody or anything. I'm just saying, like, geez Louise, you know.
And we all do it. We all do it. Like,
yeah, but the only reason we all do it is because it's the collective ego. It's not a part of us. It's the temptation to not live presently in our higher selves. And so if we can realize that it's not actually of me, that's really liberating, because it's just something that we can skip. Like, we don't have to buy into it.
Is the need to, is the shoulds, is the have tos, is all that, right?
Expectations.
All expectations and all the programming we have in us by everything.
Yes, that's a great word for it. Hi, Abby. Hello.
I think Ethan was saying something.
Yeah, I want to read it. So, Ethan, you said just that, does being present mean divine timing happens more frequently, or am I just aware of it more? And then in the writing world, inspiration is everywhere. Definitely. Absolutely. Yeah. But writers notice it more, maybe? I don't know. And then, or just present people. Do you have a response to that?
I'm happy to give it a go. I think like creativity is that kind of spark, right? That can get you in that space. You don't have to create to get into that space. However, when you get into that space, creation is right there for you to grab it. Absolutely. So it's either you start by with the intention to create and you open that gate towards the flow, or because with your mind's eye, with your consciousness, you reach that space, then you have the opportunity to create as well. So it goes both ways, certainly.
I like that.
From my perspective.
We've got another writer's insight too, it seems. Yay. I think writers seek the mysteries of existence willingly, while many others consciously hide from them. Or unconsciously. Sometimes I think people are not aware that they are asleep. I mean,
there's more out there.
Yeah. And that's what I had written too, is like, it's not about right or wrong. Like, I wouldn't look at my past self and be like, oh, I was wrong for that, because I was operating in the best possible way that I could with what I had in the moment. And and then we
all do. That's kind of
we all do.
Biggest and hardest to digest.
It's hard. It's so hard, because some people really can wreak a lot of havoc.
Right. With the best that they can do at that moment.
Yes, we have been programmed away from our truth and fail to tap into our energy. Yes, but in these conversations, we succeed in tapping into our energy too. So that's a good thing, you know. But as a collective,
it's all reprogrammable, and it's all you can change it like as fast as
the computer. You can reprogram computers.
Well, maybe some things are harder to reprogram. Like,
ask anybody who's a computer programmer.
It's like some are really complicated codes, but some are just like, from tomorrow onwards, I'm gonna do that. For instance, practice gratitude, because that's one big thing for you. Like, tomorrow, I'm gonna write 3 things at least. Like, just that. And something is changing up here. You know, you reach a different space.
Absolutely. Yeah, being present allows us to reflect, capture, and appreciate everything and anything. That is so true.
That's beautiful. Yeah. That's beautiful.
Yes. Being taught from my youth that art gets nowhere is an example of that. Yeah, that's an example of the programming. But you know what's great though, Ethan, is that you're teaching yourself in your adulthood that art is everything, and you have manifested for yourself, because we have connected, Ethan, through your investment in yourself. Do not be mistaken. Like our connection, he and I, we both invested in ourselves and we met. Therefore, you are changing and you are in your power in doing that, because we would not have met if you did not invest in yourself. And that means you would not have met Abby and Usama and AnaMaria and I always say Jeff, but I think it's Jeff and every single, and Michael Ray and Michael Paterano. Like if you take, and I encourage each and every person in this chat at any point who has shown up to take moments to message every other person, because these are some life-changing people. And I like pause. Life-changing, like, and absorbing that, it's like we are all a work in progress, and it takes all of us to be able to heal ourselves and as a collective. Like we, you know, you can be told that art gets you absolutely nowhere, but your lived experience can be evidence of
otherwise. Can teach you otherwise. And I mean, I have kids in school, and I see it. Like the moment they grow a little bit, then art is used less and less. And we know how. Oh, that's beautiful, Sama. We are, and it's amazing. And we are here for one another, and also we are here together for the better of everything, right? Of all of us and the planet we live in, because it's kind of suffering. It's suffering big time right now. And there's lots more awakening to happen.
Yes.
That we can start actually tackling the real problems, right?
Yes.
Rather than,
And I think also being cognizant of the truth of abundance too, and not buying into the programming of scarcity, because what will never work is us continuing to have the same freaking outlook that it's not enough and that we don't have enough time to save it, or we don't have enough resources to save it. And I'm talking about the planet. I'm also talking about ourselves, because we are but the truth that we actually have all of the resources within our power right now, today, in this moment, to do all of the healing that we possibly could need to do to live a life fulfilled within our purpose. Like, that is just the truth. It's about that outlook, and it's about what we're going to choose to take with us. Like, we can choose force, and we can choose aggression and domination, or frustration and anger, or we can choose to recognize that those things are separate of us, take a step back, observe, gain what we need to as we heal, and transmute that energy. And you know, Ethan, what you were saying earlier about your curiosity about like divine timing and presence, like, for me, the way I see it is that we really, whenever I align like my chakras, and I have this one friend who's like, I'll like, he'll let me like go on and say all these things.
I don't even know exactly which chakra is what, but I kind of
neither did I, but it's a lot simpler than what I ever thought it was. It's our anatomy. Like, there's a great chart that I always what's the word? Resort. I don't remember. That I always look at. How about that?
Resort 2, I think, right? Resort 2.
Yeah, I think both of them would work, but like, I don't know. I'll look it up.
Send it over. I'll put it in the chat. That's like interesting, because I've had some experience with people that were doing some meditations that I was following, and they were following the chakras and so on, and I was really into it right then, but I just like couldn't remember which one is what and how and so on. But it's like, it's incredible how you can actually transmit the energy within your body, you know, to let it flow through you, through all these chakras back and forth, right? You can literally do that and like channel it through you. And
exactly. And the thing is that if you're familiar with Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs,
then
you're familiar with the chakras. It's just that the programming has been, yes, a white man says this, it must be legitimate. But like quite literally, the colors are even the same. So it's like, ancient Eastern practice of healing that gets turned into Western science and totally muddled down. And we kind of, I'm not shitting on Abraham Maslow. Like that chart, that pyramid became a very helpful resource.
Yeah.
Even when I learned about it in school, I was like, this is so helpful. Like self-actualization. Wow, I get it. Yeah, you need to like work up to that and all of these things. But
sometimes that's the thing now that is being debunked a little bit, because they're not always in the same order, right?
That's the thing too.
Yeah.
The thing is that I'm trying to find the chart and I'm not finding. Oh wait, I know. I messaged to someone today. See, these things are always good, so I'll pull it from the message. But yes, let's look at some of the things in the chat in the meantime. Abby says, yes, gratitude is a great place to be, and it seems to bring us in alignment with all that is available to us. Absolutely. That's abundance, right? Gratitude is a powerful initiation into the deeper self and those who share our space. And we're just beginning to awaken. And the popper's mindset needs to go. Abby really gets it. I really always appreciate everything that you have to say. Seriously.
That's interesting what Aiton says, like the deprivation of art is a form of control and even abuse. Then that's an interesting.
Oh my God, absolutely.
And like deprivation of art as a consumer and deprivation of any artistic mean of expression as well. And I'm not even saying only artistic, but any kind of expression of self, right? That is really locking you in, right? You need to be able to express yourself somehow, right?
Of course, we all need to be able to do that. And if we can't, then we fail as communicators. And if we aren't able to communicate with one another and understand ourselves, then the human mind becomes very easy to control. Like,
absolutely, because we're only consumers, right? Like that's the thing that I'm trying. That's my thing, right? Transforming people from consumers towards creators. Because once we do that, they don't like the controllers or the people that are trying to I got this name, the controllers, and I love it from anyway, I get distracted. So the thing is, like, they don't have enough power when we start doing our own thing, right? And when we start creating,
if we become and realize we are conscious agents and like autonomous beings, then we don't need any kind of system control, like at all.
We can get out of that puzzle or matrix or whatever you want to call it. And we can, like, I see like a spider webs. That's how I see our alternative structure out there. Like in between the pieces that are like straight and so on, constructed by somebody. Yeah. We're like building this spider web.
It's an internet.
Right?
Exactly. And it's the natural evolution. That's the other thing that we mustn't sit in anxiety from it, because it is happening. Like our collective healing and consciousness, it's here. Like our ability, like people are talking about NFTs and like this new like evolution with cryptocurrency right now, and like how it's like changing art, but it's also going to change humanity. Like it will give us total agency in ways that I can understand conceptually, but I'm still learning how to communicate. But I see it very clearly. And and this is what I love. This theme comes back every single freaking episode that I have. And it makes me so happy that hope is here. Like, we are healing. Like, evolution is to be free.
It is.
We're getting to that point.
Feel it is like buzzing. Oh my God. For some reason.
Yeah, of course it happens.
I think we're good. Of course, I figured exactly at that moment.
Of course. But what were you going to say?
No, but you were saying about the hope is
now, and that we are evolving to be completely autonomous and agents of freeness, or freedom rather. And what it looks like in our individual bodies is this, because I finally found the chart. And this is how like Abby said, there is a place beyond self-actualization. She's right. And this is how we can get to there. Once I'm able to pull it up. Let's see. Okay. So this is just one rendition of this chart, but these are the chakras, all of these different dots. This is our Kundalini energy. And so the hand is where you can like also tap into. So these numbers are the same. These are all of the plexuses. So like the scientific term for the anatomy of like physically where it's at on our body. And then these are, some of these words will vary depending on who created a chart, but I like to look at this. And the Kundalini is tied to our innocence. The root is tied to our creativity. Also, I'll add that like one of my meditation practices is taking this chart while also saying the 7 blessings of life at the same time. So I'll add them in even though they're not on the chart. So innocence, I'll tap into my energy here, and I'll just try to like feel that energy in that one location on my body. And I'll tap into my innocence. And then the first blessing of life, which is gratitude. So I'll say, sometimes I do this silently and without thought. And sometimes I consciously use thought, and I'll just say to myself, thank you, God, or thank you, universe. Thank you to my higher self or great creator, whatever feels like it resonates in the moment. Thank you, God. Thank you for my innocence. Thank you for my ability to tap into joy and laughter and to be childlike and free. And then I'll move my energy up. Thank you, God. Thank you. Thank you for the gift of creativity. And then I'll match it with the blessing that comes next, which is enlightenment. So you see, like, creativity and enlightenment are totally tied, because when you're in your creative state, that's when enlightenment presents itself to you.
And also sexuality.
Yes,
I find like it's the same thing, right?
It totally is. It totally is. And like with not attached to desire in that way, sexuality can actually present great wisdom to us too.
Like true eroticism, right? Not necessarily the need of.
Right, because they're just like truly being like in a primal state, and then I'll say, thank you, God. Thank you for the blessing of or the gift of peace and dynamism, and the blessing of clarity. Thank you, because whenever you're in a state of clarity, that's when you're really feeling peace, right? Thank you, God. Thank you for my heart and the confidence that comes with it, for true love and security, and the blessing of no worry in my heart, ultimate presence. Thank you, God. Thank you for the gift of my voice, for me to be able to speak with diplomacy and collectivism. Thank you for the blessing of connectivity, for the ways that I am introduced to people and the ways that divine timing allows me to meet amazing people and to heal as a collective. Thank you, God. Thank you. Thank you for opening the mind's eye. Thank you for the acts of self-compassion, which lead me to self-forgiveness. And the sixth blessing of life, which is wealth and prosperity consciousness. Thank you for allowing me to tap into abundance and to desert any kind of scarcity narratives that were designed to control us as a people. I forgive those who designed those narratives to control us as a people, because I realized they must not have been in tune with love in the way that I am now. So thank you for opening my consciousness to that. And thank you, God. Thank you. Thank you for integrating all of these practices and for feeling all of the energy in my body push up to the crown chakra and opening my body up. Thank you, God. Thank you for the blessing of life purpose. In alignment with all of these truths, I can integrate and carry out what I must to be able to fulfill my life's purpose in each day and out. And whenever I pull into that, I'm untouchable. Like, no comment on the internet can hurt me. Like, that's just not a thing that's gonna happen. You know? Like, seriously.
That's beautiful. Yeah. And once you get to that point, right? It's like AB saying the state of oneness with the universe, peaceful, grateful, weightless, and free. It's that, isn't it? Because she said there's something beyond self-actualization, and it is, because while living your life's purpose, you contribute to the entire life purpose, right? Not only yours. And like really tapping into that purpose is really strong for anybody that achieves that, and not everybody does, unfortunately.
No, and not everybody does, no. And not everybody will. And that's a painful realization, but all that we can, and then like goes to what you had written as well, like you know, you're not in charge of them or whatever the person had said to you, and you said, but yes, but we could at least love. And you're right in that regard. And bye, Abby. I see now that you were saying that if you're still with us, I hope you do catch the replay. And thank you to Abby. Like, just give it up.
Abby, I don't know Abby. Ethan and Abby, I don't know from this chat, so I'm gonna definitely connect.
Well, you should definitely connect with both of them. And the state of oneness with the universe, peaceful, grateful, weightless, and free. Exactly. And we don't get to it without transmuting energy. And that's why the chakras are so important to tap into, because we are able to practice that. And that's all this is. It's a yoga practice, meditation practice, energy transmutation. It's all practice. But we get better and better at it the more that we try. And I agree, Ethan, that the conversation around cryptocurrency is a relevant one from the angle of achieving independence and autonomous being in this life. And at the very least, education on these topics so we can make informed decisions in our presence of these opportunities.
And I love that. It's very related to something I was just writing.
Really?
It's like, I have no idea about cryptocurrency yet. I think I'm gonna have to start researching into it as well. But what I find is, like, you know, the entire society is focusing on, like you said, that scarcity, right? That pie, we have the pie. Let's share the pie. Let's grab the pie, buy from the pie, whatever. But there's like so many goddamn pies everywhere. There's like plenty of pie to go around. You have
pumpkin pie, raspberry pie, apple pie, chocolate pie.
Like, forget about that goddamn pie. You're all
Also, if we run out of pie, we can bake more, or we can
make cake. You can make like brownies. To go back to other topics,
there's all kinds of desserts, guys.
That's right. It's like, stop sharing that goddamn pie and stealing from each other's pieces of pie. Like, that's like not the point, is it? Like, all these marginal gains, all this competition. Like, we can eat so much more pie if we just get out of this bloody rat race, right?
Absolutely. And I like competition with myself, but I don't compete with other people because what's the point? I compete with myself because I don't think it's good to be in my personal, like, the things that I want to fulfill in my life. I don't want to find myself complacent. I don't want to not look for substance in life or anything like that. But at the same time, I don't think I need to kick other people while I am trying to run a race. Like, there's no need for it because someone else's success is also my success. Like, I'm going to do everything I can to make sure other people succeed.
Yeah, exactly.
Even if we're in the same field. Like, even if you're an artist, like, I don't care.
I'm like, let's collaborate. Let's do something. Right?
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah,
and
that's the beauty of what we said now, that hope is now. That's the beauty of it, because we are starting to create together, and we are starting to see how if we put shoulder to shoulder, we can get further faster, right? Yeah, pursuit of excellence, absolutely, to grow. Oh, I'm lost. I'm losing you. I'm losing you. I can't hear you. And I can't sing. I don't know what I did. I can't hear you anymore. Yeah, no. I can't hear. I can't sing. Refresh. No. Let me do. If I do a refresh, will it mess it up? I'll try. Hello? No, I don't know what happened. Maybe I go to LinkedIn. I completely lost sound with you. There's no button for like, no, I don't know why. Ask the people in the audience if they can hear you. Does LinkedIn hear you? I cannot. Can you hear me? That's so strange. Yeah, maybe it's like, yeah, I don't know. It's like, it doesn't work. No, I took it out. Nothing works. It's strange. Maybe nobody hears you. You have, yeah, David says you have no sound. Yeah, nobody can hear you. Oh no, maybe I'm gonna read the poetry then. Shall I read the poetry? Let's read the poetry so you can listen. We don't have to, it doesn't have to be a conversation if I'm reading. Okay. So this one is called Begin. The first is always the hardest. The fear, the ifs, the shoulds, the not knowing. Stripping yourself of your mask, of your beliefs, of your cynicism. Allowing yourself to dream out loud for everyone to see. Is it better to begin in silence? Does that count as beginning? Does it count as creating if it is only for your eyes? Or is creation what happens when the message is conveyed from the creator to the someone willing to see? This is it, and let's see if you can speak now. Do you have sound? No? Not yet. I think the universe is saying, guys, you talk too much, and that somebody needs to go to sleep because it's exactly 1:00. So that person is me, because 2 small people are going to wake up tomorrow morning and they will say, Mommy. So there you go. It was wonderful to talk to you, my dear Carina, without a voice now. But you have plenty of voice to go around all the time. It was wonderful to talk to you, and thank you so much for subtitles. David wants subtitles, a translator at least. Yeah. Thank you, guys. Thank you for everybody that was here and with your beautiful comments and well wishes. It was a lot of positive energy, and I'm feeling charged like a battery. And I'm gonna study about those chakras. Okay. I'm gonna start that because I think it will really benefit me. Thank you, my dear. Thank you. Bye.